Hey, it's your friend Jenny from Nature's Corner, where I invite you to step into the magic of Christmas. Our garden store has transformed into a beautiful Christmas shop filled with everything you need to make this season unforgettable. Find festive decor and unique gifts such as challah handbags, garden accents, and Mr. Bird seedlings. Shop our fresh-cut greens, wreaths, and roping to add the sense of the season inside and out. Bring a friend and experience the joy of Christmas right here at Nature's Corner, where Christmas magic grows. Visit us at the corner of Angola and Holland, Sylvania Road.
It's Monday.
It's December 16th.
And the word of the day is struthious, which means prone to ignoring unwelcome facts and letting a situation worsen without any intervention. Used in a sentence, low information voters put the truth IOUs in struthious.
Oh, bravo. No notes. Cheers.
See, I thought Struthius was the band of the teeny tiny violin I'll be playing for Trumpers when the next COVID comes around. So, it's on me.
I'm Cecil something Italian.
I'm Eli Bosnick.
I'm Heath Enright, and broadcasting delayed from America's Far Center, we are the Skepticrats.
On this week's episode, our nation prepares for a second Trump insertion.
77 of the smartest people in the world are standing like that disappointed cricket guy meme with their hands on their hips.
And you can smell like steak and ketchup for one easy payment of $199.
Oh, no.
But first, the rest of the intro music.
Joining me for headlines tonight are my fellow Skepticrats, Cecil something Italian, and Eli Bosnick. Gentlemen, we have a pre-lead story and actually have some good news. Last week, Joe Biden pardoned 39 people who were mostly convicted of nonviolent drug offenses, along with commuting sentences for about 1,500 more people, the biggest one ever. And we're done with the good news, especially considering that over Thanksgiving weekend, President Biden gave a blanket pardon to his son Hunter for any crime ever in the last 10 years that Hunter may have done, including the 2 crimes he already got convicted for. So, to be clear, I'm glad Trump's absurd upcoming DOJ won't be able to prosecute Hunter as a political enemy, but also, Joe Biden is officially a liar. He said the opposite of this so many times.
I trusted him.
Yeah. Well, and more importantly, we did not get pardons for all the other political enemies of Donald Trump, nor did we get pardons
Like us.
for, yes, us, exactly. Nor did we get pardons for every single person on death row, considering the death penalty is fucking unconscionable. I guess we could still get more pardons. We still got a little more time, but Hunter came first. It's not a great look. Also, I think we should just stop having pardons at all because they seem a little crazy. What do you guys think?
I think when faced with a country that votes for Donald Trump because he done promised he gonna make the big gulp cheaper, Joe Biden showed us all the decency and decorum we deserve as a nation.
That's fair. That's fair.
He can shoot 7 of us in the face, is what I think.
I'm fine, I think, with Joe Biden and anyone else in the future given pardons, but I think they have to do it with a tap routine and white gloves while doing jazz hands.
Ooh, I
if
love
they do
that.
I'm down, 100%. You have to tap it out. If you could tap it out, you get the pardon.
There's a trial by combat against a sick baby. If you get one.
It just seems like an insane system to have this magical wand to be like, we're not, that poof doesn't count now.
But it's in direct response to how big of fuck-ups we are with the justice system that you absolutely need it, because there's so many times that we're like, that guy deserves to die, and there's literally no evidence, and then they killed him.
We could get rid of that and then get rid of the pardon.
But it's also really weird, too, because it's only for federal crimes, so a lot of people that are accused of committing murder and then convicted of it and then put on the death row, we can't, the president can't do shit about that. He can make a strongly worded crime. UN letter. That's about the best he can do.
Yeah. It's tricky. Okay, we have another lead story. So
I'm confused. Why are there 2?
This one,
that was a pre-lead.
I think that was a pre-lead. So this is the lead.
Pre-lead.
This is the lead. Here we go. And it's about the time between the election and the inauguration, which we're in right now. And it's absurd this time. We're all on this sinking ship, waiting to board this new one. It's right next to us. We're looking over, And we can see the new one is made of literal human shit. And we chose the shit boat as a country. So we're just standing here watching the newly appointed crew of the shit boat just light big piles of shit on fire to get it all ready. And Tom's just playing a sad fiddle in his Adirondack chair on the deck of this one. I feel insane. So how are you guys doing with this lame Duck Dynasty time?
Honestly, the ship I can deal with. It's if one more congressman makes a video about how they're going to steer that ship to the land of milk and honey, that I'm going to push them overboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the issue.
I'm on the other side. I'm just looking at that ship and wondering how quickly we can speed run on broken campaign promises. Like, I feel like they can all be broken before you take office. Let me look. Yep, they are.
Okay, they did it.
They did it already. We're good.
Great. So as the tragic boat switch is happening, people are lining up to give Donald Trump a fucking blumpkin while he shits all over the deck of the new boat, hoping Trump is going to give him a sweet, sweet shit cabin in January. So let's talk about some of the Blumpkineers.
Yeah, much less popular than the Mouseketeers, everybody, but they existed. They existed.
Debatable. So I'll start with FBI Director Christopher Wray. He was appointed to a 10-year term by Donald Trump in 2017, which is notably less than 10 years ago. Nonetheless, Trump wants him gone. Trump's in a big snit about Wray being in charge when investigators from the FBI came to Mar-a-Lago in 2022 and found highly classified, stolen documents right next to fucking Grandpa's big book of poop jokes in the guest bathroom there. Some of the documents were related to our nuclear program. Well, apparently that was a big, unfair invasion of privacy for Donald Trump. So he announced his plan to appoint big lie enthusiast Kash Patel to take over the FBI. And that means Trump would need to fire Chris Wray. Or Wray could be a giant fucking coward and just resign. And that's what happened last week. So now a 34-time convicted felon can put his personal lackey, Kash Patel, in charge of the most powerful law enforcement body in the country. And there won't even be a news cycle about firing Wray to make it happen next month. And Patel, just for the record, has officially stated plans to take down the deep state, including a literal public list of enemies, which is super chill thing to have for the FBI director.
Right.
J. Edgar Hoover.
That's obviously awful, right? Completely awful. But what I don't understand is the people who are like surprised by this. Like people, slavery was legal. Holocaust was legal. The bad people make their bad things legal before they do them. Did you think they were just going to hope we didn't notice they were still crimes? They do.
I feel like they
do it in
toyed with that
steps.
idea too.
They did it the first time.
Yeah.
No, the first time they just went with the crimes. That's fair.
All right. Next up on the list of Blumpkineers, we have Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. Last week, Zuckerberg met with Trump in person, and Bezos has plans for a meeting soon. And we learned that both Amazon and Meta donated $1 million each to the Trump inauguration. I mean, so eggs are expensive, but you got to give the guy a nice party at the start, right? Working class moderates can all agree it's important to give $1 million party to the guy at the start.
Of course, yeah.
And Bezos, just to be sure that he got a slightly better shit cabin than Zuckerberg on the new shit boat with an ocean view, also agreed to stream the inauguration party on Prime. That would be worth another approximately $1 million as a donation. So you guys gonna watch the stream on Prime?
Watch it. If you and Noah let me, it'll be a whole GAM episode, Ethan, right?
2 votes, man.
I've already seen Human Centipede. I'm good.
Sure. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Spoiled. Yeah.
Well, let's get Cecil on, and he'll talk about Human Centipede.
Weird
talk
thing
about
is you got to actually take
the inauguration.
You got to take the depends off to put the mouth on.
That's
there.
true. Yeah.
So
No,
it's like
that's
a whole
tough.
thing.
It's tricky.
Okay, well, apropos of nothing, I'm sure this is completely unrelated. A day after getting giant checks from Amazon and Meta, Trump announced that he's planning to reduce the corporate tax rate from the current rate of 21% down to 15%. Why is it 21%? That's insane, you might be thinking. Well, that's because Trump did that when he took office in 2017, cutting it down from 35%. And just for scope, the new cut to 15% would give Meta $1.4 billion off their tax bill. And receiving almost the same amount as a tax break would be United Healthcare.
Okay, now to be fair, Trump had heard everyone is hoping those guys get their shot. He's just trying to help. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, this is fine. I'm sure we can find a few families that could tighten their belts, pitch in a few extra percent to make that 1.4 billion up. I mean, what is it, like 6, 7, 12 million families or so? That's not that
not a
many.
big deal.
It's
It's easy.
fine.
I know a couple states that I'd like to volunteer.
So, cutting the corporate tax rate again was a promise made by Trump on the campaign trail this time around, while he was winning the hearts and minds of working-class voters in the heartland. And he repeated that plan at the old union headquarters. I think it's called the New York Stock Exchange. That's right. Where he rang the opening bell following the announcement that he's the Time Magazine Person of the Year. He was surrounded by salt-of-the-earth working-class people like the CEO of Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. That was fun. Everyone started chanting USA, USA at that event.
Okay, do you have something against overly accurate metaphors, Heath? You're being a real downer this week. Like, I don't get it, man.
That was a little too spot on. Thank you very much.
Everything's a fucking sketch. I hate
You
it
hate
so much.
accuracy? I don't understand.
You know, guys, I think we're overlooking this, but with a few select regulations gone, some of those people could get $700 million raises.
Oh,
That's
Merry
fun.
Christmas.
That's fun.
Tiny Tim still dies, but it is Christmas.
no.
So
But he wanted to. He was on the shoulders at the Trump rally.
I hope Tiny Tim's fucking crutch turns into a machine gun.
And I hope he has better...
Oh.
All right. That was a beep. I don't know what Eli said. So, one final Blumpkineer for today. That would be Pennsylvania Senator John Federman.
Jesus.
He's a Democrat, I think. He definitely was. But then his brain got shut down by a giant marble of cheese lodged in his carotid artery. Kind of like the one I'm also working on.
I was
Probably
going to
Eli
say,
as
talking
well.
a big game, Mr. Later Cheese.
Yeah, fair enough. So I was a big fan of Federman for a while, but not so much right now. In particular, he spent some time last week trying to sign up for Truth Social and then spending way more time screaming to an aide about what the fuck is 2FA, I don't understand, but probably in like a funny accent like my dad after a stroke, and then finally getting his account on Truth Social. And here's the very first post we got from Federman. Quote, "The Trump hush money case and the Hunter Biden case were both bullshit and pardons are appropriate," end quote. So, what do you think? Pardon Trump too? Is that the move?
Oh, no, you got to make him do it himself, if only because then some intern will get a cell phone video of him doing both parts in a sad puppet show. Like, Donna, you didn't do anything wrong. Oh, thank you so much, Donna. Oh, what's that? Where's your hand, Donna? Thank you.
That's fun. Might be worth it.
So like he's, he basically has to get on his knees and beg Kathy Hochul. So see if she can swing that part and see what happens.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Let's play that out.
So for me, Federman was wrong in like extra dimensions there. He said two things. He was wrong on at least three. Like the cases were not both bullshit.
Yeah.
Pardons are not appropriate. And to Cecil's point, the president can only pardon a federal case.
Yeah.
For the hush money convictions, Trump would need a pardon from Kathy Hochul, New York governor. I'd love it for a senator to know that, right? That'd be nice.
Is that too much to ask? I feel like it's too much to ask.
It
I
is.
feel like,
Apparently, yes.
I feel like we need to have good fundraisers. That's your main quality. As a
That's the
senator.
problem, yeah.
And, okay, one other fun hot take from John Federman. He compared Elon Musk to Tony Stark. Now, okay, in fairness to Federman, that was part of a comment about disagreeing with Elon Musk on politics, but admitting that, SpaceX and Tesla have done some good things. And yeah, electric cars, good stuff. Catching that rocket with the robot arms, that was a sweet fucking video. But I'm pretty sure Elon and fucking Jarvis had nothing to do with that. Also, small thing, Elon bought an election for Donald Trump after he got red-pilled by the Fear Factor guy on a podcast. So, yeah, maybe Elon's smart, but not that smart. Point being, John Federman needs to sober up or find a fucking ice flow.
Ooh.
Eli's got an idea of which it should be. Pretty sure we can find another guy in Pennsylvania with a hoodie and cargo shorts and a sassy dad bod. That's not hard to find.
Guys, I cannot believe a man who looks like a bouncer at Philadelphia's most popular Quiznos ended up not having the subtle grasp of politics we were hoping for.
It's always the ones you most suspect, I guess.
Right, yeah. I tattoo all the dead people on my arm.
Oh, no!
I would just remember all the people I murdered, John.
You can just write things down via paper.
All right, well, speaking of John Federman, I guess we're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor, Trust and Will. So you can't wear it out of the house?
No, I can wear it out of the house, but only to like walk-in funerals.
Okay. How many funerals do you go to usually?
Oh, a lot. My mom's a nurse.
I don't understand.
Hey,
What's your
thanks,
work, son?
Cecil's Boston Lady Voice. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, Boston Lady Voice was just telling me the conditions of her parole. It's like really complicated.
Yeah, especially because I'm pregnant.
Are you actually pregnant?
Maybe.
Right. So many of life's important decisions are complex. Take creating a will or trust. It might feel complicated, but it doesn't need to be. Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like lounging on the couch easy.
I love doing that.
And right now, you can get 10% off at trustandwill.com/Skepticrat.
I don't know, Eli. Is it easy to use?
Super easy. I was so impressed at the service when they became a sponsor that I used it to set up me, Anna, and even my mom.
You want me to take care of her?
Nope, please don't
I can-
kill my mom. Their simple step-by-step process guides you from start to finish, one question at a time. And live customer support is available through phone, chat, and email.
Okay, I'm sold. Where do I sign up?
Let Trust and Will uncomplicate the process for you. Protect what matters most in minutes at trustandwill.com/Skepticrat and get 10% off plus free shipping. That's 10% off and free shipping at trustandwill.com/Skepticrat.
All right, thanks. One less complicated thing for me.
For sure. You ready to go through these restraining orders?
Right. So, is it anybody in the gritty costume or just the guy who was wearing it that night?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And we're back. Next up in headlines in Dunning-Kroger news.
Mwah! So good. Perfect.
I was so
I'm
proud
so
of
mad
that
I didn't
pun.
think of that. God damn it.
I was so proud of that pun when I wrote it. All right. Donald Trump tells Time magazine that bringing down grocery prices is a little harder than just saying it out loud and putting it next to your end birthright citizenship on your vision board. Donald Trump and his allies said time and time again that they were planning to take office and make it easier on people's budgets by lowering the cost of groceries. They never really let anyone know how they were planning to do that. I mean, they had a concept of a
It was
plan.
a concept.
Yeah, it's a concept.
yeah.
Here's a quote from J.D. Vance, a ganglion cis that wanted one day to be a real boy.
Okay, to be clear, his current job is puppet elect.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I don't know if the real boy thing's
Little
happening yet.
respect, hand that man a donut.
Just don't talk about how he picks them out. All right, so here's the quote. Quote, Kamala Harris broke the private sector economy and Donald J. Trump is going to fix it. And, of course, whether it's housing prices, whether it's mortgage interest rates, whether it's grocery prices, everything has gotten more expensive under Kamala Harris. He probably mispronounced Kamala Harris's name, by the way. So again, we ask ourselves, do we want a president who broke the economy, broke the border, broke your wallets, or do we want a president who already fixed it and will fix it again, end quote.
Okay. Well, in fairness, they do have a concept. If you give corporations a giant tax cut, they can use the money to hire more people and lower prices, right?
Yeah,
Or they can raise prices and do stock buybacks. Hard to say which would happen, considering, data didn't really exist yet in 2017, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, the Republicans are the economic equivalent of that guy who takes a shit on the walls of a porta potty at a music festival and then announces that it smelled fine when he went in there,
Trump also said this many times, not pooping on walls. He said that he was going to lower prices on groceries many times on the campaign trail. Quote, prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast. Not only with insurance, with everything, end quote.
Yeah, you doubt, Cecil, but I have a feeling that human life is going to get real cheap real soon. That counts for something, just so you know. It counts.
You're not wrong. Here's another quote. Quote, "We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get prices down, groceries, cars, everything. We are going to get prices down," end quote.
Okay, I went grocery shopping with my boomer aunt this past Thanksgiving, and she tried to negotiate the price of a reusable shopping bag with the guy at the register. So what I'm saying is I saw this coming. I saw it coming.
Okay, the first time I encountered the buy a bag rule, I got super mad and I was like, fuck you. And I carried everything in my arms awkwardly and I just stumbled slowly to my car like a crazy person in an infomercial. Just throw everything into my trunk. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Trump had a fun photo op outside Mar-a-Lago where he had one of his aides go to the store and buy things that looked expensive. And then he put them all on this long table and proceeded to give a speech as if he were giving Johnsonville Bratwurst the Congressional Medal of Freedom.
Okay, Cecil put a link to this photo in the notes. I noticed Trump had a bag of Fruit Loops on the table. And you know RFK Jr. made a fucking scene about it. The yellow 5 and the fluoride in the milk or some bullshit.
Huffily from inside the bathroom. You can't make me stand next to it.
I take my Fruit Loops and beef tallows. Make America healthy again.
But now we turn to today, and Trump lets everyone know 50 days before he takes office that, in fact, no, he probably won't do that at all. Quote, "I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard," end quote. First off, hasn't been hard in years, Donald. You aren't fooling anyone. Also, you had no plan on how to do this. Kamala Harris had a plan. She was going to place a federal ban on price gouging. She also recognized that extreme consolidation in the food industry caused a lot of this. And the FTC, while Biden is still in office, stopped a merger between the two biggest supermarket chains this week, Albertsons and Kroger. They had to sue to get it done in federal court, but as of right now, the merger's off. Without this, the listeners' food bill is probably going to skyrocket.
Yeah, the Biden administration also made the largest increase of all time in the food stamp benefit. And if you haven't heard about any of that or any of the stuff Cecil said, it's because we decided that, mentioning stuff during a campaign is a little braggy, so we didn't do a lot of that. Apparently we needed, a UFC fight with Kamala Harris choking out the CEO of Kroger. Ooh, whatever works. Do it next time.
Let's try that next time. Why not? Why not? And look, guys, don't worry. I'm sure whoever Trump appoints as supermarket overseer chief will do a great... Oh, what's that? What's this on my news app? He just appointed the concept of starvation. Oh, I'm so surprised. New York Times, come interview me. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's too bad. Baron Harkonnen had a sex scandal, so he had to drop out of the room.
Oh, yeah, you hate to see it.
All this is to say, this isn't the only thing that the Republican platform said they wanted to change and have no idea how to do it. All their policies are literally just telling everyone that there's this magical land inside a wardrobe full of monsters and wizards and talking lions. When you finally convince them to open it up, it's just a sweaty old gimp suit that they made us all wear last time they were in office. So time to bust out the baby powder and don our vinyl, folks.
Exactly. And in Luigi's handsome news, as I look around at a world...
It's a me, murderer.
Exactly. As I look around at a world whose brains have been so thoroughly destroyed by the social internet, I have to admit that sometimes I get a little jealous, right? Here I am in reality watching fascism win and late-stage capitalism collapse around my ears, but Uncle Frank has Q feeding him and the elite tribe of trucker pill consumers knowledge to fight the deep state. And in those moments, I wonder, where's my brain rot? Where's my internet-induced psychosis? Well, this week I got my wish as the Leftism movement saw the murder of Brian Thompson, the chief executive of United Healthcare, and decided that the assassin is yummy and we all want to fuck him.
Okay, that's the part I definitely agreed with. I'm confused.
I know.
With the take you're going with.
Now, look, listener, I'm not going to bore you with the details.
I want
of
to
this
wash
case.
my clothes on his abs.
Hey,
That's
right?
all. I just want to wash them.
Like a woman, sing a song while I do it.
I want to wash my body on his abs with my clothes somewhere else.
Now, look, podcast listener, I'm not going to bore you with the details of this case because you, like me, have followed every second of them without wanting to, right? Somehow you learned about silencers and subsonic rounds, coffee shops, e-bikes, and sweet baby Luigi's tragic snitching and capture by a McDonald's day manager by internet meme osmosis alone. Though, I do want to point out that I think we can admit that an underpaid white guy in Pennsylvania ruining the best thing about our country that week is perfectly emblematic of our nation.
So I read that Luigi brought Monopoly money in his bag to scatter over the dead body, but then he forgot to do that. And I don't know, that felt like a guess. I feel like he started doing the money thing and the money just like blew away in the wind. And he was like, fuck, okay. Didn't really think that through. Should I buy some glue?
Shoot money into him,
glue?
Put it in the hole.
DoorDash it?
Icky.
Thumbtacks, maybe?
Paperweights.
Yeah. I feel like you go one step further, Heath. I feel like you fill the body with Monopoly money and like shoddily sew it back together. So when they do the autopsy, the bills shoot out like a can of snakes. It's just like fucking shoots some comic
We love
money
this.
out of
Yes,
it.
this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. We're all coming up with good ideas here. But like I said, I don't want to
Luigi,
talk
be
about
better next time.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll
Or
workshop
whoever
it
copies
together.
him.
Let's
Yeah, you
workshop
guys
it.
try it.
Yeah.
But look, I don't want to talk about those details. I want to talk about the hot take that every mainstream media outlet and Facebook bore has desperately felt the need to trot out since this guy got shot, which is that murder, and I don't know if you all know this, is wrong. Yeah. Because look, of course murder is wrong. That's why it's illegal. And I have heard literally nobody suggest that Luigi something Italian shouldn't go to jail for murdering Big Mean Medicine Man. The argument that these people actually want to make but won't is that when bad things happen to bad people, they should be treated just as seriously and empathetically as when those things happen to good people. Which is an attitude so stupid, even the fucking Paw Patrol knows it's bullshit.
Yeah, so multiple things can be true. I'm just going to name some things that are true right now. Luigi is a physically beautiful man on the outside.
Correct.
On the inside, also definitely beautiful.
Doubly
for
true.
sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except we kind of learned that he's a little bit of a piece of shit politically from some of his posts. Also, murder is bad, blah, blah, blah. Those three things are true. They can all be true.
I love that we collectively watched as the low-flying jet of consumer healthcare oppression flew so fucking close to everyone's heads, but right over it. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And look, no, Cecil's younger brother shooting some asshole in the face isn't going to bring about lasting reform to healthcare. And yes, all the stuff you've read on the internet about them changing policies because of this is either completely fake news or was in place before the shooting happened. Don't get me wrong. I want to say a series of would bring about great, wonderful changes, but it's not going to fucking happen, okay? The most liked comment on New York City Mayor Eric Adams' Facebook post about this killing was, he can put it in any of my holes he wants to, and they still aren't going to copycat him, and there's not going to be a national movement or a revolution or anything, because our side doesn't shoot people.
Well, except when we do.
Right, occasionally, every Christmas. But mostly, we make memes about it. And the people telling you that not even that is okay are doing it because they imagine themselves to be next. That's why they're doing it.
Well, to be clear, I agree with you, Eli, that people can definitely make jokes, but everybody pointing out that there's a slippery slope here isn't a corporate shill for capitalized medicine. Just, okay, to be serious for a second, the person who actually might be next could be like an abortion doctor getting killed by a Christian terrorist using the same reasoning as Luigi. So,
no,
not
that's
great.
fair. It's a fair correction. Thank you, Heath. Some of the people making that argument are also cowards. So now I've covered everybody.
Yeah, no, we're crushing the nuance here. So,
Amazing.
all that being
Glad I'm
said,
part
though,
of this.
all that being said, you can put a poster of whoever you want on your ceiling above your bed. They have to let you. That's
true.
the
They have
rules.
to let you.
Yeah. I'm going to buy the poster of that half body that the abortion protesters bring and pretend is an abortion and put that above my
Yeah, exactly. Again, they can't stop
They
you.
can't stop me.
And look, I know it's unpleasant to admit, but the way this stuff actually changes is the boring stuff you already know about, right? You gotta vote, you gotta write to your congressperson, right? I don't want you to think I'm advocating for a nihilistic rejection of democracy.
Come on, let's push him over into nihilistic rejection of democracy. Does voting work? Does it
It's
actually
a real
work,
small.
Eli?
Now you could blow
Does
on
it
Eli.
really work?
I'm not doing it this week, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that right now, this moment we're all experiencing a feigned offense, that anyone would dare laugh when the king falls from his throne, right? This false outrage, this painted on concern for the sanctity of human life. That moment, that's about keeping us in line, right? It's about making you a good little cow who goes to the slaughterhouse without mooing too much. And I just want to tell you, you don't owe that to anybody. Yeah? So make those memes, drop those funny tweets. They make shitty people scared and dumb people angry. And God damn it, ever since November, it's about time those fuckers had a turn.
Okay, but if you're not doing both, if you're posting memes but not voting, you're just doing performative nonsense, and you lack the virtue you're trying to signal there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Great
Don't
line.
be like me, is what we're saying.
Great
Yeah.
line.
And Luigi, if you're listening, and I know you are, buddy, he's a big fan. You can put it in any one of my holes that you want to, buddy. When you get out.
Just don't make any new ones.
Or do whatever. Cecil doesn't speak for everybody.
Don't limit it. He doesn't speak for me. And speaking of memories we'll treasure forever, let's
Jesus
toss things over to a word from our sponsor, Aura Frames.
And I told them I was pregnant, but they made me jump out of the car anyway.
Hey, podcast listener. Boston lady here was just telling us some of her stories.
Hey, you ever see this scar here?
Okay, that is not a scar. That is an open wound.
But one day it will be a scar.
Right?
Okay.
Look, we all have different ways of keeping memories, police reports, national bans, but the best way is an Aura frame.
I got a framed orca once, so I'm on this boat. Right?
Named number
I'm up-
one by Wirecutter, Aura Frames makes it incredibly easy to share unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. And when you give an Aura Frame as a gift, you can personalize and preload it with a thoughtful message and photos using the Aura app, making it an ideal present for long-distance loved ones. It's a gift so special, they'll use it every day.
You know what I use every day?
Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Mat frames by using promo code Skepticrat at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Skepticrat. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, is my wound still open?
Yeah,
Very much yes.
I can't even feel it.
I can. And we're back. Next up in headlines, in My Handshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard news, U.S. Congressperson Nancy Mace of South Carolina is claiming she was physically assaulted by a rabid trans rights activist last week during a handshake.
The horror.
In case anyone missed it, Nancy Mace is a horrible person. She's the sponsor of a transphobic bathroom bill for the U.S. Capitol grounds that's clearly just targeting Sarah McBride of Delaware, the first openly trans person elected to Congress. And we know that because Nancy Mace said, yes, I'm absolutely targeting McBride.
Yeah.
Awful.
And here's what happened with the so-called handshake accosting. After a foster care event at the Capitol last week, Mace claims she was violently handshook by an activist, and she filed a police report about it. She's lying. She's a liar. Nobody in the room is backing up her story.
Yeah, folks, the victim narrative has gotten so strong they're calling the cops over it now. I'm being oppressed.
I just think it's all the ringing that's made her hands so very delicate.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Chafy.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, one of Mace's former staff members saw the news and immediately tweeted, "This is the same woman who told staff, myself included, during January 6th that she wanted to get punched in the face by a rioter so she could get on TV."
I volunteer as tribute.
Also, like, she could have just lied about it, like she did with this.
Right. Well, despite all that, Mace has been doing appearances while wearing an absurd arm sling, like a cartoon cast from Bugs Bunny. It's so fucking
Goes up to her
ridiculous.
skull for some reason.
She's a liar is the point, and this had to be mentioned.
Man, I gotta say, I'd have a lot more respect for her if she had like a special effects gore-filled stump and she wrapped her arm close to her body inside her shirt and walked around with just this big dangling piece of meat. That would be much better.
Yeah.
And in Please God No Bell news,
Well done.
77 Nobel laureates signed a letter begging the Senate to reject the appointment of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. RFK, the man that put a dead bear next to a crashed bike in Central Park to pull off a sweet prank, comes with a list of to-dos and campaigned for Trump to help his cause at getting appointed to the top spot in HHS. The man who cut off the head of a whale and then strapped that head to his car like a canoe has a huge problem with vaccines, fluoride, raw milk regulation, and our war on exercise.
Okay, I knew about the other stuff. I didn't realize people would join me in the war on exercise. Are there meetings? Should I be going to these meetings?
The best part about this is the uniform is just a t-shirt with a potato chip stain in it.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
I have the uniform.
Yeah. I have so many
I have
copies
so
of that
many
uniform.
of the uniform. I could fund the army. It's going great.
So, are you unfamiliar with RFK? Well, good on you. Kennedy was considered one of the disinformation dozen, a group of 12 super spreaders of vaccine misinformation on social media. Kennedy is listed at number 2 under misinformation superstar Joseph Mercola.
You
Here's
know
a
he's
quote.
mad about being number 2 on that list.
He's going to cut off Joseph Mercola's head with a chainsaw.
Yeah, finally.
Here's a quote from an NPR article about the disinformation dozen. Quote, researchers have found just 12 people are responsible for the bulk of misleading claims and outright lies about the COVID-19 vaccines that proliferate on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The disinformation dozen produced 65% of the shares of anti-vaccine misinformation on social media platforms, end quote.
Yeah, Fox News saw that and they were like, damn, he's good. Donald, you got to get this guy on the squad. If you can't beat him, buy him, right?
Side note, I looked it up. The disinformation dozen also worst possible blunt rotation, it turns out. You're just, it's never making it to you.
RFK's stance on vaccines became mainstream during the COVID pandemic, where he was making the rounds as a vaccine skeptic. I use skeptic there very loosely. It's a vaccine denialist is really the word we're looking for. He helped convince many that alternative and unproven treatments like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine were effective against preventing and curing coronavirus. He was also able to amplify his message through both podcasts and social media, convincing a lot of people to stay away from the COVID-19 vaccine. He also believes the Andrew Wakefield study, or at least consistently talks about how vaccines cause autism.
Oh, the debunked one?
Yeah, the debunked one.
Which
Yeah,
again
12 people
is
one.
crazy considering how he's admitted how his own brain works, right? that would be like if my main message was going around telling people that I knew the cure for depression, right? It's just
Okay, so an old friend of mine got roped in by RFK Jr. during the pandemic and started taking ivermectin,
Really?
refusing to get a vaccine. That friend got COVID like 30 fucking times. Like all the Greek letters, a few weird numbers like pi and Euler's number in there. And then last week, he told me about a giant list of new medical problems he's having.
Oh.
Could be unrelated, but I don't care. Like, don't get red. I'm trying so hard to have empathy for this moment, but like, don't get red pilled.
You should just offer him like other deworming treatments to see if
exactly.
that'll help. You know, who knows?
I got some heart guard. You want to give him some heart guard next time you see him?
Here's a tweet from RFK on the future landscape of the HHS. Quote, FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamins, clean foods, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by Big Pharma, end quote.
There's a
Now, if
war
you're-
on Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the acronyms here, FDA is the Food and Drug Administration, and they are a smaller department of the HHS, or the Health and Human Services.
And America is about to get the one we deserve, Cecil. So again, I don't see the problem. Like, what's the...
All right. So anyway, this guy would be an absolute disaster for health in the United States.
Oh, no,
All
not our health.
No. And look, hey, just don't take that from some guy on a podcast. Here's a text from the letter from 77 Nobel laureates. Quote, in addition to his lack of credentials or related experience in medicine, science, public health, or administration. Now, that administration is by itself there. It's not even attached to anything else. Continuing the quote, Mr. Kennedy has been an opponent of many health-protecting and life-saving vaccines, such as those that prevent measles and polio, a critic of well-established positive effects of fluoridation in drinking water, a promoter of conspiracy theories about remarkably successful treatments for AIDS and other diseases, a belligerent critic of respected agencies such as the Food and Drug Administration, the Centers for Disease Control, and the National Institutes of Health, the leader of the DHHS, Department of Health and Human Services, should continue to nurture and improve, not threaten, these important and highly respected institutions and their employees, end quote.
P.S. Oh, wait, this is for America. Never mind. That's actually great for you.
The other letter they got was from the other Nobel laureates that just says, we love this for you. And that's it.
Yeah, love this for you.
So some of the smartest people in the world just suggested to our country that putting a lawyer who works out shirtless in jeans as the head of HHS so we can stop the FDA from regulating sunshine is a pretty bad idea. But we Americans, we don't retreat from bad ideas. We say loudly and proudly, hold our beer.
Get the guy some jeggings. What is happening?
Or some jorts at the very least.
I think I'm more offended by the jeans in the gym than anything else. It's insane.
I think we can all agree that's the worst thing about
He works out on the beach with those. At like Venice Beach, he's in jeans with his shirt off.
Yeah. And in macrochip news, as the tech reporter for our little program, it's important that I keep you informed in a manner that the media bias chart is described as, quote, less reliable than Ben Shapiro. And so, in that spirit, they done made a computer chip so good it's going to end the internet as we know it. So, buckle in. Okay, so in order to understand what I'm about to say, I've got to tell you a little about quantum computing. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a second. Someone just said the word quantum. Are they an idiot who's lying? And yes, I am. And yes, I'm probably wrong. But I'm trying not to be. So, hear me out.
Okay, everybody, be quiet. Compact Chopra is talking.
Thank you.
Okay. Eli read about this in a Forbes article, and the very first sentence of that article is, I admit up front that I'm not an expert in quantum computing. So what you just heard from Eli was a paraphrase of ignorance based on a phrase of ignorance repeated by a guy with a BFA who's going to explain quantum physics on a podcast right now.
Well,
so
see, I read that sentence and I was like, okay, well, this is my time to shine, right? Because I obviously am an expert on quantum computing. Okay, so regular computers, they use these things called bits, and those bits can represent ones or zeros. So if you have, for example, 2 bits, they could represent 00, 01, 11, or 10.
Or a shave, or a haircut, or both.
Yeah. Quantum computing, on the other hand, uses qubits, which, utilizing the principle of quantum superposition, can represent 1, 0, or a combination of both at the same time that I like to call Wero. To use a popular metaphor, regular computer chip cats can either be alive or dead. Quantum computer cats can be alive, dead, or both at the same time. Add to that quantum entanglement, and you've got highly correlated computations and faster data processing. Though, to be fair, I don't know what the fuck that last sentence I just said means. But the articles I read said it was important, and so I believed them and repeated their words.
Cool. You learned nothing and you taught us less than that. I'm kidding. We were in no danger of learning anything from Eli. Come on, guys. Be ridiculous.
So the problem with quantum computing up till now has been errors, right? When your qubits can be 1 or 0 or Wero at all at the same time, the likelihood of fuck-ups in the actual computing is basically made quantum computing a largely hypothetical field. But as I said, this week, Google unleashed a quantum computer chip called Project Willow that seems to have solved that problem, and the future might just be here.
Well, when they turned it on, it did teleport in a ship called the Event Horizon, too. I'm sure that's nothing, though. I wouldn't
I have
worry about
hot
it.
dog fingers now. Cool. Just ignore me. I'm going to play with this.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're thinking, okay, Eli,
La,
but
la,
how
la,
much?
la, la.
Yeah, exactly. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay,
Wow.
Eli, how much faster can this quantum computer chip be? Well, let that Forbes article explain. Quote, Willow's computational power is staggering. It can solve a complex calculation in under 5 minutes, taking the fastest classical supercomputer around 10 septillion years to complete. Yes, septillion as in a 1 followed by 24 zeros.
Wow. It's going to make AI so much better, and that is unambiguously positive.
I think we can all
Nothing to worry
agree.
about.
Just hook those two bad boys up and let it round. Am I right?
Yeah.
And look, a lot of implications of that are super cool, right? The reason we don't have self-driving cars and robots and stuff is because you can't compute fast enough for those things. But a chip like this in the real world absolutely could. But there's one really big problem with this computer chip that has to be talked about. Its threat to Bitcoin.
Oh, no. Anyway, you were saying?
Well, Hawk to a coin is going to be fine, though, so no worry about it. Hodl, everybody. Hodl.
Exactly. Right. So don't worry. The problem isn't actually Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's a good way to explain the problem. So the way Bitcoin works right now, I'm on a roll today. I'm explaining quantum physics. I'm explaining Bitcoin. I'm a giver. What can I say? Anyways, the way it works is you ask a computer to do a really long, really hard math problem. And when it does it, you get a little bit of Bitcoin. But if your computer can do all the Bitcoin math problem in a matter of seconds, whoever is the first to use that chip for that kind of thing destroys the value of Bitcoin. And yes, I know that sounds awesome. However, that same doing a really long math problem system is also how all the security on the internet works. So a computer that could process problems, a septillion years faster than other computers could also crack every password and form of security in the world almost instantaneously.
Yeah, the moment this thing cracks Eli's browser history, it's dead. I have no idea why we're worried about this.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
It's going to be great. I'm just going to call Tom real quick and apologize about making fun of the bunker he made when 5G came out.
Maybe he'll
So
let
that's
you
pretty
in.
useful.
Yeah.
See if there's some way. Just knock. You got to knock shaving a haircut 2 bits, though.
Yeah,
You gotta
exactly.
do
That's
that, yeah.
he doesn't tell you that, but that
Shotgun
is the
top bunk.
password.
And one of the bits may or may not be a bit. So we'll see.
Now, look, there are still lots of questions about how scalable this technology is. Plus, and I want to remind you of this, people smarter than me know about the security problem, and they will probably think of something, but none of them have thought of something yet. So, good news, super fast loading porn might be a thing sooner than we think. Also might launch all the nukes and kill us all. So, pros and cons is what I'm saying. Pros
All right, that's
and
fair.
cons.
Cool. Balanced.
Perfect time for something like this to happen, by the way. Perfect timing,
Yeah.
I think.
And finally tonight, in Broad Toilette news, Donald Trump has a perfume and a cologne. The line of fragrances is called Fight, Fight, Fight. And each bottle goes for $199. But wait, there's more. If you buy a 2-pack, the second bottle is 50% off. And here's the description with every word capitalized for some reason. For patriots who never back down, like President Trump, this scent is your rallying cry in a bottle. Featuring Trump's iconic image and raised fist, this limited edition cologne embodies strength, power, and victory.
That's right. For each bottle you buy, we'll kill one firefighter. That's the
Holy
fight,
shit.
fight promise.
Holy shit. Guys, are we like 3 weeks away from the FDA approving Aaron Rodgers' ayahuasca sweat as like a cure-all? Are
I'm
we
just
3
gonna
weeks
check.
away
Why do you
from
think
that?
it's going to take 3 weeks? That's crazy.
3 weeks feels like a lot of paperwork.
It's not today. I'm going to say under. I'm going to take the under.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
under. All right.
No
sure.
bet. No bet.
Yeah.
By the way, Trump is also taking pre-orders for another line called Victory 47. And the bottle comes with a literal golden idol figurine of Donald Trump standing on the cap.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a warning on the box that Moses might make you melt that figurine down if he ever comes back. So just be aware.
It also says that each bottle guarantees it comes from the hand squeezing of 3 full Depends.
Ooh.
That's exciting.
Delicious.
Yeah, so Trump announced the new business venture last week on Truth Social with a post that said, I call them Fight, Fight, Fight because they represent us winning. And the post went along with a photo of himself sitting with First Lady Jill Biden at the reopening ceremony for the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. And she seems to be like vaguely smiling next to Trump. The claim from Trump is that the aroma of his Fight, Fight, Fight cologne is so fucking delicious that even Jill Biden likes him.
Yeah, Jill was just wondering what the dead smell was coming from. Was it the mausoleum floor under the church, or was it the person sitting next to her? We'll never know. Yeah,
Okay.
We'll actually know.
Here's my favorite little extra part. There's nobody sitting next to Trump. They had Jill Biden is actually one chair away from him.
Nice.
I think Macron's wife was supposed to be in between, and she clearly was just like, this is a fun prank. I'm not showing up. I'm going to make Jill Biden deal with this piece of shit. I saw a video recently of all the seats around him completely empty, and Trump's just like waving his head around trying to pretend like he's talking to people, like me at a dance being like, oh no, I don't have to dance the whole time because I'm clearly like talking to somebody across the room.
Doing points at people with their back turned.
What a piece of shit. All right.
That's America, baby. Pointing at people who aren't looking so they don't shake their heads at
He's
us, the
selling
country.
a fragrance. Okay. And fight. All I think of is like a middle school fight breaking out, and then I think of Axe body spray, and that's his fragrance.
The America we are. So again, this whole episode is just you guys being like,
I'm being
I don't
weird
like
about
how accurate it is.
all the perfect metaphors. Fun. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I think we're going to close it out. Thanks to Cecil, thanks to Eli, and thanks to all the listeners who liked us and followed us on all the various internets. Please keep doing that. Please keep listening, and please keep telling your friends. And if you find the naive stupidity of our giving away a free show business model to be oddly charming, you can send us gifts of money at patreon.com/Skepticrat. Just like Josh.HR, Kyle, Louise V, Zach Von Stanley, Wanda Blackman, Anna Aguilera, Jennifer Bourne, Dan Pilot, Kioris Kuhaku,
holy shit,
David
that's
Carr,
Jennifer Bourne,
Tray Table Mafia, Jen Rodriguez, Ambi Verbal, Chad Walker, Stein Heitland, Adam Haynes, and Cassandra Hall. You are the delightful coziness of a weighted blanket on a chilly winter morn of people, and we love you. And whether or not you're feeling financially benevolent like those fine people, if you enjoyed our brand of whimsy and you'd like to hear more dick jokes free of charge, check out our brother and sister shows, The Scathing Atheist, GodAwfulMovies, D&D Minus, and Citation Needed. Available in all the podcast places. We just have one last thing. Let's compliment that pianist. Special thanks to Ryan Slotnick of Evil Giraffes on Mars. He's the creator of the virtuosic musical stylings you heard today, which were used with permission. You should definitely check him out using the links we'll provide or by Googling the only band called Evil Giraffes on Mars. Until next time, catchphrase sign off. The preceding podcast was a production of Puzzle in a Thunderstorm, LLC, copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
When you've got a lot on your plate, your financial future is the last thing on your mind. That's why Acorns makes it easy to invest for you, your kids, and your retirement, all in one app. Acorns will recommend an expert-built portfolio that matches your money goals, then automatically invests your money for you. Download Acorns now and give your money a chance to grow. Investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. Please consider your objectives, risk tolerance, and Acorns fees before investing. Acorns Advisors, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Brokerage services are provided to clients of Acorns by Acorn Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. For more information, visit acorns.com.
I was a critical care nurse for 8 years before I joined the Ohioans home health care team. I worked long hours, and when I had days off, I was exhausted. I missed school functions, sporting events, holidays. I missed my children growing up. I was stuck in a routine and was not connected with my community. Not anymore. I love working for Ohioans. If you're an RN and looking for a change of pace, join us at Ohioans Home Health Care. We have immediate full-time positions available. Apply online at ohioanshhc.com. That's ohioanshhc.com.